Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, and also double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. They continue to rule very well to this very day. That is feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And also, likewise, Shalom to the Hof elect. That is also laboring this work as well, that's continually pushing forth this ministry and this gospel to the other members of the Hof elect in our faith and truth and sincerity and in all charity. Now, this is going to be a continuation of the previous video, which is entitled "Cast into Prison and Tried." Okay, and I may title this video, give it another title, Salakia. But this is just to continue in the lesson concerning being subjected to being put in prison. Okay, because like I mentioned in the previous video, that some of us will have to go through that. Okay, but again, like I mentioned before, is that you have to have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Shai, that he's going to carry you through that, or he's going to bring you out of it, or to bring you through it to where you do not denounce Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Okay, even at the footsteps of death, all right, even at the doors of death, you still have to remain faithful to Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Okay, because he's not going to leave his servants out in the elements like that. Okay, because I believe some further videos beforehand, I think it's like a month ago, I probably put up a video saying that if you fight for the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Shai, the Lord's going to fight for you. Okay, and that's true. Those are true sayings. If you fight for the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Shai, then of course he's going to take care of you. All right. If you're a servant of the Lord, then guess what, man? He's not going to leave his servant out to fend for themselves, man. Okay. If you're a part of the elect, he's going to provide for you. He's going to protect you. Okay. But like I mentioned before, just to continue the previous lesson I was doing, a previous video I put up. And from where I left off from was Acts, the 5th chapter, but I want to grab a quick precept in Revelations chapter 12, verse 12. Okay. This Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." All right. And that's why this devil, the higher ups of Edom, which is Edom is the nationality of what these people call them as so-called white people, or the so-called white man. The higher ups, of which are the bankers, are starting to get hectic, so to speak. They're starting to rush their NWO agenda. Okay, because they see that the prophets are rising up, and they see that the Israelites are returning back to their power. Okay, and since they see this, they're going to come down with great wrath, right? Because they see that since these things are happening, they have a short time. So right now they're on borrowed time right now. All right, they're limited to how much they can do in a short amount of time. So right now they're trying to bring out certain edicts and draconian laws to further their agenda. Okay, and one way they're going to try to disrupt this from coming to pass concerning the Israelites returning back to that power, they're going to try to cast the elect into prison. Okay. Now I brought out in Acts the 5th chapter, right, concerning Peter and the apostles being cast into prison, and the Lord sent an angel to release them. Okay. And guess what they did? They went back, right back into the marketplaces and the temples and teaching. Okay? They continue to do the work. All right? And they continue to do the work until the point where the wicked scribes, Pharisees, and Sadducees ran into them and they beat them. Okay? And they rejoiced in that. They rejoiced being cast into prison and beaten. Okay? They weren't mournful or sorrowful or anything like that. No, they were rejoicing because they were accounted worthy to receive the same sufferings as Yahushua. And likewise we do the same thing. We rejoice in the sufferings. All right? Why? Because Yahushua went through the same things, man. And that shows you that we're doing the right thing when that happens. Okay? Because it's for our righteousness' sake. All right? Okay, so I'm going to jump to Acts, the 12th chapter. All right, it's the book of Acts, chapter 12, and it started at verse 1. It says, now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. So this was during the Passover. Okay. So James was put to death with the sword. All right. And he was looking to take Peter and also do the same thing to him. Okay. Verse 4 says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring forth to the people. All right. And when you go into this word Easter, it goes on to the word, the Hebrew word Pesach, which means Passover. Okay. So verse 5, it says, Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto the Most High for him. So even though Peter was thrown into the prison, prayer wasn't ceasing. All right. He wasn't ceasing to pray. Okay. Verse 6, and when Herod would have brought him forth the same night, Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers bound with 2 chains. And the keepers before the door kept the prison. Now, and now Peter, the only thing he was doing was just teaching the word. All he was doing was preaching the coming of the kingdom of the Most High. And he got put in prison, and they put him in 2 chains, man, just for teaching the word. Okay. Verse 7 says, and behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and the light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. See? And if you look at the word smote, it means to hit on the side, man, roughly or violently. All right? So that lets you know, man, the angels, they're rough, man. All right? This is why this thing of ours, consists of men. All right? Because we're rough. Okay? The angels are rough. The Most High and his son Yahushua are rough. Okay? That's why John the Baptist was looked at as in high esteem with Yahushua, because he was a rough man. Okay? And those chains fell off Peter's hands, right? In verse 8, it says, the angel said unto him, gird thyself and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he said unto him, cast thy garment about thee and follow me. And he went out and followed them, and was not that it was true which was done by the angel. So Peter thought that he was just dreaming, okay? Because he was asleep during that time, all right? And he thought he was dreaming that the angel woke him up and got him out of prison, okay? Verse 10, it says, when they were past the first and the second ward, they came into the iron gate that leadeth into the city, which opened to them on its own accord. So the gates opened by themselves. Okay. And they went out and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. And when Peter was come to himself, right, when he realized that it wasn't a dream, he said, now I know of a surety that the Lord has sent his angel and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. And when he had considered the thing, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. Okay, see? Now I'll move on from there. I'm going to grab Acts 16, verse 19. All right, Acts chapter 16, verse 19. It says, And when her masters saw that the hope of their gains was gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers. Right, and this is when Paul released the demon which was in this woman that was bothering them. All right. Verse 20, it says, and brought them to the magistrates, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city. All right, and really they were mad because they were gaining from this woman by having demons on her. All right, and since they disappointed their gain, that's when they took them and accused them of troubling the city. Okay, verse 21, it says, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans. See, because it was an edict that was put out during that time, which came under the rule of Antiochus or Antiochus, that all the people shall leave their laws and take on the laws of the Romans. All right, so that's why it said these things were not lawful for them to teach. Okay, verse 22, it says, and the multitude rose up together against them, and the magistrates rent off their clothes. They commanded to beat them. And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely, who, having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison and made their feet fast in the stocks. And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto the Most High, and the prisoners heard them. See? So at that same time, prayer did not cease. Okay? Peter ceased not to pray. Peter and Silas ceased not to pray when they were cast into prison. Okay? And all the prisoners heard them. Verse 26. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and immediately all the doors were open, and everyone's bands were loosed. And the keeper of the prison, awaking out of his sleep and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself, supposing that the prisoners had been fled. So the foundation shook, and the doors opened, everyone's chains were loose from them. Okay. Verse 28, it said, but Paul cried with a loud voice, saying, do thyself no harm, for we are all here. See, verse 29 said, then he called for a light and sprang in and came trembling and fell down before Paul and Silas and brought them out and said, sirs, what must I do to be saved? Now, this person, that was in charge of the prison, this was an Israelite. Okay, that was under the command of the higher ups. All right. Likewise today, that's why you have Israelites that serve in the army. All right, and may be a part of the force. You know, the maybe a federal law or a warden, or keep charge of the prison. They're under the command of Esau. All right, so same thing with this person that was keeping the charge. Okay, so he asked him, what must I do to be saved? Verse 31, it says, and they said, believe in the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and thou shalt be saved and thy house. See? And thy house. All right. And his house consists of who? The Israelites. Okay. Because if this was an Edomite and his house would have been saved, then Obadiah wouldn't even be written. All right. Or the prophecy would be disannulled concerning Esau or Edom, because it says the whole house of Edom is going to be destroyed in the book of Obadiah. Okay. So I'll move on from there. Try to wrap this up as quick as possible. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. All right. Now, again, some of us had to go into prison. And guess what? Some of us may have to be martyrs for Yahushua. All right. And that's judgment. So the ones that were beheaded, all right, they're going to live and reign with Yahushua, man. Okay. These are the ones that have refused the mark, the image of the beast, the number of his name. And since they have resisted the mark and the beast, guess what, man? They're at the end of it, at the end of everything, they're still going to be taken care of, man. They're still going to receive the kingdom. All right. And they're going to be held in high regard for doing that, man. Okay, but that's all I want to touch up on this lesson. That's pretty much hit the point, and it drove the point home. Lord's will is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Also, as well, till next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and real well to this day. And also, Shalom, peace of safety, and salutations to the hopefully elect that's laboring his work, giving your diligence to make your calling and election sure, and faith, and truth and sincerity, and all charity. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.